call them players, call them womanizers. But what we're really dealing with are narcissists. When you first meet, they seem amazing.
Gotcha.
What, are you flirting with me?
What, me? No.
Narcissists are easy to flag.
Sherry, how are you doing? Nice to speak to you.
Likewise. Thank you so much for being here. This is going to be a fun conversation.
Oh, I hope so. I mean, it was a really fun movie. It was really fun, but at the same time, I love the fact that it is able to mine so much comedy out of something that is a very, very serious subject that it shouldn't be taken lightly, right?
Right.
I know that Ann Marie, your writer-director, she specifically said that she wanted the audience to laugh at the madness rather than kind of get overwhelmed by it. So I'm quite curious what kind of conversations you share with Ann Marie and kind of how you approached kind of navigating, especially because you're kind of the comic foil in the film. I'm quite curious how you balance that quite dark material, because it is something that's got to be taken very seriously, but give it the lightness that we can enjoy it and kind of laugh at it at the same time. How did you approach that?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, I think this film does a great job with that balance of like levity and also like just in insight on a very specific topic, and like Anne Marie is so smart, and her and Jenna wrote such a brilliant script. And it was from trauma. Anne Marie had gone through something, and when we first met, we also just unpacked a lot about our past relationships and how much we relate to these characters. And I feel really honored to bring Diane to life as someone who has also experienced heartbreak and just such rock bottom, just like Diane has, and Anne Marie and with Judy and Eva. Like, these are three women kind of going through different stages of their opinions on relationships. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's so multi-dimensional. And I think we balance it well, because not only does it enlighten the audience in a lot of ways, it might trigger the audience. It might also heal the audience. I think there's going to be many emotions for a lot of people. But I think at the end of the day, this film is very human. It's so real, like even with the shenanigans and how we're on social media or we're trying to steal this phone, the lengths that we'll go to sometimes when we are, being emotionally bamboozled is real, real. So I think this is just very much of it's a human story.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad you mentioned that you expect kind of very different reactions to the movie because of what people will have experienced in their lives. Something that really stood out for me was the fact that especially in the case of kind of the main character, Judy. Sorry, she's so stubborn and obstinate that she can't see past these red flag colored glasses, if you will. It kind of it made me very aware that there's this kind of paradox that the more hypervigilant you become about something, the more narcissism you create that you're trying to prevent in the first place, right?
Right. I think with Judy and how she's trying to stop Eva from marrying Theo, it's like she's fixating so hard, and like what's in front of her is everything, and she's just, it's tunnel vision. Of course she's, she has expertise in this topic, so she's definitely using those tools to inform what she should do and how she should guide her daughter in this situation. But I think it does get the best of her. Like, we start to obsess over things are sometimes out of our control. So we kind of see that, especially when Diane, after what she's been going through simultaneously, really like screams at Judy, like, snap out of it. You're really going to lose your daughter if you keep going, because at a certain point, we can only do so much for other people, and like I mean, there's just so much to unpack here, Howard.
Yeah.
Like the relationship between mother and daughter, and how we also eventually become our own mothers because we have Eva going to hide in the bush right after Judy and Diane go hide
Yeah.
into the bush. You know, it's like it's such a real story. I mean, multiple stories, honestly, of just like, you know, being there for each other, because women at the end of the day, a lot of times all we have is our female friendships and our female relationships, you know? So I think it's just really, really, it's just, there's so much to unpack. It's so multidimensional.
But something I really particularly enjoyed about your character is the fact that even though she's gone through a kind of a separation and she's still trying to get over that, she is the one that's kind of the anchoring friend that Judy kind of needs
Yeah.
to kind of keep things going, which is, I mean, that must have been
Yeah.
really hard to nail whilst kind of keeping yourself kind of, there's this quirky character who's going through this breakup herself and grounding Judy at the same time, right?
I mean, I have to tell you, Howard, I am not taking it lightly that I got to play such a layered character, because you're right. She's going through multiple things simultaneously. She's being there for her friend Judy and very much just ride or die, going with these, you know, theatrics and shenanigans and kind of like, a partner in crime vibes, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At the same time, she's unwell. Like she is fully getting like tossed around by this hot and cold lover, not knowing what the status is, you know, and being second place in the matters of the heart. And then at the same time, she's like just trying to, you know, enjoy Los Angeles. She's never been on vacation here, and she's like getting more and more tan as the movie progresses. I don't know if you
Yeah.
noticed that.
No, I didn't.
But
I will. I'll watch next time. I'll
I
watch after it.
definitely just like, I cannot believe how human this person is, and it really is a reflection of women and how much we carry when we're dealing with our own shit and trying to, support others emotionally and mentally, physically. I think, especially because we have three women here, like one, Eva is going through art school. She met someone she's in love with, and she's trying to please her mother and also getting like convinced by her mom, and also like, going through all those mental gymnastics. We have Judy, who's clearly guarded because of a past relationship and, just traumatized by that and acting, accordingly, writing a book about dating a narcissist and etc., and hopefully trying to spread the word so that no one else goes through what she goes through. But then the hotel manager Daniel is kind of proving her wrong, and softens her up, and they hook up. And it's just, there's so much going on. It really is the story of women doing the most at all times, despite, period. You
Yes.
know?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Which brings me full circle back to the beginning, that this was based on something that Ann Marie, your director, writer, had actually been through. So I'm quite curious. Surely I mean, being able to see the humor through these situations must have been cathartic, not only for her, but I guess for everyone involved as well. No, can you kind of tell me a little bit about those conversations and how it served as catharsis for you and for Anne Marie and the rest of the cast?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Like in the process of making this film, we all shared a lot of stories of past lovers and, lessons learned. And I think
Mm-hmm.
um, people will definitely see themselves in at least one of the characters in this movie, and laugh about it, and also feel like, "Ugh," kind of like, get the shivers because of a past relationship. I think this is gonna either like, yeah, this is gonna bring up a lot of emotions, but I think people will be entertained. And perhaps look back on an era of their life and laugh about it, because when you're in it, it feels like everything. Just like all these characters, right? It's the new love, it's the current love, and it's the past love, right? Like that's what these three women are experiencing. And you know I look back on my past heartbreaks and I'm just like shook that I was ever that locked in on this thing that was actually not that serious, but the way it affected me, it felt like
the
the
worst
only
thing
thing
ever.
that mattered.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
It's so extreme. And as human beings, we cannot be more extreme sometimes. And just learning to live in between where joy and pain can can like be hand in hand. Um we can't just be defined by one thing, uh which is the lesson here, and how, you know, we're kind of portraying these women of like being multiple things for each other and for themselves at the same time. So it's really deep, and it's really refreshing, and it's really liberating, honestly, to be you know, kind of bringing this story to life and having a conversation around it, because this is going to provoke a lot of conversation.
Yeah. They give me the rap, but I mean, coupled to that by extension, everybody needs to see it, especially I think mothers, children, mothers and fathers, children's, everyone
Yes.
together, grandparents, because of, like you
Yes.
said, it's a vicious circle that goes through the generation, and
Yeah.
it's a great film to
Yeah.
watch, and then to have a great
Yeah.
chat with the younger generation, the older generation, all about it. So I can't wait for
Yes.
people to see it. And thank you so much for
Yes.
your time, and I hope to speak to you
Oh my
again
God.
sometime soon.
Thank you, Howard. Truly, more conversations to come. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right, I hope so. All the very best.
Take
Cheers
care,
then,
my love.
Sherry.
Take
Take care.
See you.
Bye now.
She's your daughter. Let her live her life. There's plenty of warm-hearted, romantic souls out there.
I think Kiva will come around soon.
You smell good. There you go, live this. It's hot.
Give me your phone.
No, are you out of your mind?